Network and Facebook Live, the home team with Paul Porter. Talking Lightning, Bucks, Rays, USF, and a whole lot more. Your calls and prize giveaways. Join us this Saturday and every Saturday morning for the home team, 9 to 11 on the TAN Talk Radio Network.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
When the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the home team on the TAN Talk Radio Network. The home team is brought to you in part by Iceman Development, LLC, a pioneer in ice rink development. By the Palm Pavilion, 10-day Esplanade on Clearwater Beach. By the Original Mattress Factory, with 3 Tampa Bay locations. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
And thank you, Pat Porter. This is Jason Alessi taking the reins for Paul Porter this week. Paul is taking a little vacation days. He's been working hard. It's it's hockey season. It's basketball season. He's been calling a lot of Lightning and Magic games, so he's taking this day off. But very happy to be joined today by our good friend from Papa Injury Law, Mr. Dade Papa is back with us today. Dave, good morning.
Good morning, Jason. It's great to be here. And Paul, wherever you are, you have a nice, relaxed day. You deserve it.
Yeah, yes, he does. He has rested, but of course he'll be working in the press box tomorrow for the Bucks.
Right.
Bucks game against the 49ers. But a lot going on right now. Obviously, it's football season. It's the NFL. It's college football. We've got hockey and basketball going on, so a ton to get to. But we're going to start, of course, with the Bucks. Coming off a tough loss, a hard-fought loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. They lose in overtime of 30-24. And a lot of people have been making a big deal about the decision by Todd Bowles not to go for 2 points and the win in regulation. He elected to kick the extra point. Bucks tied it up. It went to overtime. Kansas City got the ball first. They marched right down the field and scored a touchdown to get the win. And some people have been very critical about Bowles, saying he should have gone for 2 points. Now, my personal feeling is I agree with his decision to go for the 1 point. And the reason why is because, for one, I think you have a higher percentage of making an extra point than getting a 2-point conversion. So that's one. But number two is the overtime rules are different now. They change in the last couple of years, where the team that wins the coin toss and gets the ball first has to score a touchdown on that opening drive in order for the game to end. If they're held to a field goal, the other team will get the ball and will get a shot to come back and either extend it with a field goal or get the win with a touchdown. That's the way they did it a couple years ago, to try to make it where both teams at least get the ball once in overtime. So the point is, you have options. You have several options, even if you lose the coin toss. You can either stop them on defense, get the ball back. You can hold them to a field goal and get the ball back. And then either, as you continue, you could kick a field goal to tie it if you're down by a field goal, or score a touchdown and win. Where if you go for 2 points at that moment, yes, if you make it, you're probably going to win. But if you don't make it, you basically have lost the game, because the odds of getting an onside kick these days are very low. So basically, it's an all or nothing right there. And we saw this come down to the same situation on this Thursday night game between the Cincinnati Bengals and Baltimore Ravens. Cincinnati scored a touchdown late. They opted to go for 2 and the win, and they missed it. And Baltimore prevailed by 1 point. And everything is always easier in hindsight to look at. To say, if it works, it was a great decision. If it doesn't work and things don't turn out in your favor, then you start to criticize. But what's your opinion, Dave, on the Bucks? What should the Bucks have done in that situation?
Well, I look at a little bit different than you, Jason, only because I'm sitting there saying the Bucks were 4-4. Mm-hmm. Okay, if they were 5-2, if they were 6-1, I'd say go for the extra point. But when you're in a situation where you're 4-4, you're against Kansas City, who I don't think has a great defense. and you've got Baker Mayfield, who I love Baker Mayfield. I told you that earlier.
Me too. Yeah.
He's great. I would have went for the 2-point conversion.
Okay.
I think that can be a point in your season where you can turn things around and absolutely just go on a tear after that. I think it's just a momentum changer. I like the 2-point conversion. I think they should have done it in that situation simply because it's so tough to beat Kansas City. All you got to do is get a 2-point conversion to beat them. It's not guaranteed, but at the same time, you go into overtime against that team. Look what happens.
Now, I will say the Bucs defense, I thought, did a decent job against the Chiefs in that game. Yes, they gave up, they'd given up 24 points. They'd given up some big plays. But even in the fourth quarter, I thought they had held their own against them. So I felt the thinking is you can at least hold them to a field goal. If Kansas City were to get the ball, which they did, and even if they move down the field, you at least hold them to a field goal,
right,
and you're going to get the ball. But then I think the bigger issue is the Bucs defense has let this team down. They have not played good football. Really, I think going back 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, and they've given up a lot of points, a lot of yards, a lot of big plays. And this was another opportunity. Even we saw the Atlanta game, the first Atlanta game, right, which went to overtime. Atlanta got the ball first. Bucs never saw the ball because they gave up a touchdown.
Yep.
Something is off with this Bucs defense here.
Right.
And
I agree.
And going back again to the 2-point conversion, I see in some ways the point, but I also think that I think you limit your options there. Where I think that at least if you kick the extra point, you've got a chance in overtime, and you can win on different scenarios, because even if you lose the coin toss, because the rules were changed where the team that gets the ball first has to score a touchdown, you've got a decent shot to at least hold them to a field goal. There's a good chance you're going to see the ball in overtime. Where again, if you go for 2 there and you miss it, you've basically lost the game.
And I get that. And in overtime, most teams kick field goals in overtime. Even if the KC had just a field goal, the Bucs get the ball back.
Exactly.
They kick a field goal. Now you're likely to have a tie regardless. And the Bucs can't afford a tie. They needed wins. That's why I said with their record, I would like to have done something a little bit on the edge, show a little bit of confidence in my quarterback in that offensive line. Because, again, the defense, you're right, has failed them to some degree. Mm-hmm. That's what I like that. I think that in that position with that record against that team, I like to try to win the game.
Win the game there. Yeah. Well, we'll see. And going back to the defense, I do put a lot of this, I think, on Todd Bowles because he is a defensive-minded coach. He still calls the defense. And I think he's going to have to figure this thing out, whether it means changing up, your schemes, the way you blitz. Some of the players who are not performing, benching them and giving some of some other guys a chance. I tried to think about this. Is this more of a coaching issue, or is this more of a lack of talent issue? Looking at the players on defense, I can name 3 players that I think are fantastic players on the defensive side. Levante David, our great linebacker, who's been there for years. I think he's playing in his 13th season. Vita Vea and Antoine Winfield. Outside of those 3, I think there's a lot of inconsistency. There's some players that they show flashes of brilliance. They'll have a great game or great moments in a game, but then they'll miss plays. They'll be absent. And not show up.
I mean, look at a guy like Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. There's a lot of high praise for him, and yet he's only got 15 tackles on the year. He's how do I put this? He's been a disappointment.
He has. Since they drafted him, they expected a lot out of him. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka has not really lived up to the expectations. Another player, I think, of the linebacker, KJ Britt, who took Devin White's place. I think they really felt that KJ Britt was ready. He looked like he was coming on strong last season, but he's been very inconsistent. Even some of the players who were rookies last year, Kalijah Kancey and Yaya Diaby. I know Kancey has had a problem staying healthy. He has started both last year and this year injured. He missed several games to the beginning of the season, and then when he gets in there, he's been, he's got a lot of talent, but again, doing it consistently. Same with Yaya Diaby. He'll make some incredible plays, But then he'll, not so great plays. I know in the secondary has struggled. They've had some injuries too in the secondary, which has hampered them. They brought Jordan Whitehead back, and they've got some others. Zion McCollum, they're giving a shot, but there just seems to be, this is not the typical Buccaneer defense that we become accustomed to through the years. Usually, the Bucs defense was what carried them through each season. They always had a solid defense. In recent years, though, it seems like the offense has become really good, but the defense has taken a step back and is kind of holding them back a little bit here.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm going back to your original thought when you first started talking, and you did an excellent analysis, as always. And using that, I would say, I would start using my younger players. And for no other reason than they're 4-5. Even if they make the playoffs, they squeeze in somehow to the playoff scenario, what are they going to do? Get knocked out in the first game, maybe? Mm-hmm. I mean, I would try to get my younger players some role models in there. Let them teach them right now, because you got, like you mentioned, 3 excellent players. David, especially, I like him. Vea is very good. And I think they could really work with these players, not on practice sessions, but in real game experiences, as you know, that's what these players need. And start building that defense again, because they've lost Evans and Godwin.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, really, what are you looking to do?
Well, Evans is projected to be back by the time they come back out of the bye week when they play the Giants
but
in
how
3
many
weeks.
games is that? Yeah, and now you'll probably lose at least 1 or 2 of those games, and now you've lost 7 games.
Here's what's interesting looking at the schedule and at the season thus far. The season thus far really is unfolding just like last season did.
Yeah.
The Bucs got off to a good start. Then they went on a bad streak where they lost the majority of the games mid-season, right. and people felt that they were done last year. But the difference is last year, no other team in the NFC South emerged. So the Bucs were able to right the ship late in the season, got back on track, and they won the division with a 9-8 record. Just 1 game above 500 record.
Right.
That's not the case this year. You got the Falcons. Falcons look to be the real deal. They're really good. They've already beaten the Bucs twice. And so aside from having a better record than the Bucs, they also have the tiebreaker against the Bucs. So in all likelihood, if the Bucs are to make the playoffs this year, they're going to have to do it as a wild card team. And there are a lot of teams throughout the NFC that are vying for those final wild card spots. Now, the second half of the season or after the bye week is certainly more favorable in terms of the teams that they're playing. I think at the moment, the only team they would be playing in the final, the last 7 games that has a winning record is the Chargers. They're going to play Carolina twice. They're going to play New Orleans again. They're going to play the Giants. They're going to play the Raiders, and they're going to play the Cowboys. And
to confirm, the Chargers are the only team out of that bunch that has a winning record as of now. They sit at 5-3. Everybody else is under 500.
That's right. So certainly those are a lot of games that they can win. But the problem is that the Bucs now have gotten themselves in a little bit of a hole. They would almost be especially if they don't pull it out tomorrow against San Francisco. They may have to win just about all of those games the second half if they want to make the playoffs.
And let me say something too. We're looking at this record and all. In the NFL, you don't see a lot of teams that squeak into the playoffs win the Super Bowl. I mean, I can't remember the last one that's done that. And you might know better than me because your memory is much better than mine. But I don't remember someone sneaking in and winning the Super Bowl. Whereas in like the NHL, for example, Florida just barely squeaks in by 1 point in a tiebreaker a couple of years ago and wins the Stanley Cup. You don't see that in the NFL.
Not very often. I remember. I think the Giants one year they got in with a 9-7 record, but they had been on a hot streak, and then they carried that in and ended up. They ended up beating the Patriots. Their second Super Bowl match with the Patriots. Exactly. But you're right. It doesn't really happen that way as often.
I think that's when you kind of guide your ship in that direction in the NFL. If you're not going to win your division, and clearly Atlanta looks like they're going to. And you mentioned the tiebreaker too.
Right.
They're going to have to squeeze in. And I just don't think that's healthy to squeeze in and have high expectations. So I would use my younger players right now and dig in.
Yeah. We're going to see what happens. It's going to be this game tomorrow. It's interesting. about to sneeze. Anyway, not yet. Not yet. Yeah.
Gotta love live radio.
Yeah. But they're playing a 49ers team that the 49ers, frankly, have been a little disappointing thus far. They're only sitting at a 500 record. They, of course, were in the Super Bowl last year. They were considered one of the Super Bowl favorites going into the season. They've had a lot of issues with injuries, ton of injuries. In fact, one of their top guys is actually set to come back tomorrow, Christian McCaffrey,
right?
Which is a big deal. But the 49ers are coming off a bye week, so a chance to rest. Their last game was a victory over Dallas, and of course the Bucs having a short week. Having played on Monday night against Kansas City, a tough way to lose. They're really going to have to rebound in a hurry against a team that is well rested. So this is going to be a tough matchup.
Yep.
And history wise, they don't do very well against the 49ers.
Yeah.
Whether it's been certainly not on the West Coast, but even when it's been when they've played them here, they just don't have a lot of success against that team. So, right. But it really is. You could look at as close to a must-win as possible. I mean, if they were to drop that game tomorrow, they're 4-6. They're going into the bye week having lost 4 straight games, and that is not where you want to be.
That's rough.
So again, they're going to have to figure something else, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But that is our contest this week. We're going to be picking the score of the Bucs and 49ers game, plus the halftime score as the tiebreaker. We give out the phone numbers right now. Please call in at 727-441-3000. That's 727-441-3000. We've got some lines available. Also wanted to mention, too, we're going to talk a little about the Lightning. Lightning, they had jumped out to a very good start at 7-3. They're now on a bit of a slump. They've lost 4 straight games. Of course, the last game was to Philadelphia. It did go to overtime in the shootout, so they picked up a point there, but still haven't been doing quite as well. I think the record sits at 7-6-1. It is still early in the season. I think there's a lot of teams that are kind of bunched up, right around the 500 mark. So I guess, for Lightning fans, is this kind of where you expect them to be? Should we be should we be optimistic? Should we be a little concerned with those streakers? Is this just the normal for this part of the season?
Well, it seems like it's going to be fine because right now the NHL, there's a lot of teams bunched up in the middle.
Yeah.
Even with the Lightning, the Lightning and Bruins always seem to kind of go hand in hand, and they're both average right now.
Yeah, you're a Boston Bruins fan. So
they're 7-7. I think
right.
7-6 is the Lightning.
Yeah, they are. You're right.
Yeah. So either way, what's going on here is, they're just feeling themselves out. Maybe people are playing those two teams a little tougher this year. They learned how to play them a little bit tougher. But there's also been a lot of new players on each team, so I think they'll be fine. I think they'll make a playoff run.
I know certainly everyone was going to be looking at how they're going to perform without Steven Stamkos. Okay, yep. And I was the mindset. I wasn't about to panic because of Stamkos left. Even though he's been a great player, but I think the addition of Jake Gensel, bringing back Ryan McDonough, and I think also having a healthy Andre Vasilevsky to start the season makes a huge difference. Kucherov is already he's playing like an MVP right now. He's just having an outstanding season, the usual. Yep. So and then also you look at Steven Stamkos with Nashville. They've gotten off to not the best start either.
Right. Yeah, I think that right now he's only got 7 points. I think he has 4 goals and 3 assists up there.
Okay.
But that's a weak offensive team. I think when he was with the Lightning, he was with better players.
Right.
And he made those players better because we talked about this earlier. Chemistry in hockey is everything.
Yeah.
More so than any other sport, I think, other than maybe football.
Right.
But you start talking about chemistry, I'll tell you, Steven Stamkos, I miss him.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people do.
Very much so.
With all the new players Nashville has, there were such high expectations, yet they have 4 wins and 9 points, worst team in hockey.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nashville's a last place team, and with all the guys that they brought in and all the talent they already had there, they're a last place team.
Yeah,
but
granted, it's just so early, and a lot of things could change and work themselves out. But the Lightning, the record is fine. It's not great. It's not bad. They're right there.
They're in a
right
playoff
there.
spot right now.
Yeah. So again, it's I think the Lightning are going to be fine as well. I know they were on the run. I know the Flyers game was at home. The 3 previous games was on the road. They're going to have a run. It's interesting. They actually have a lot of time. I think their next game is not till next Thursday.
It is. They're on their bye week. They're off till Thursday.
Okay. Which they'll be playing, I believe, Winnipeg, who's the best team in the league right now. So that's going to be tough. But we're going to take a break right now. We're going to touch more about the Bucks, the Lightning. We're also going to talk some college football when we come back. But again, the phone lines are open. Please call in 727-441-3000. Love to hear from you. We're running the contest for the Bucks and 49ers this week. And we'll be back right after this on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, AM 1350, FM 106.1, and FM 102.3. And as always, Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
After a car accident, there are many questions that you need answers to. Who pays for my car repairs? Who pays for the medical bills? What about my lost wages? And more. The personal injury law firm of Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes has been answering these questions for their clients for nearly 70 years. Since 1955, they've been a voice of the injured in the legal system. As one of the longest established law firms in Tampa Bay, Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes is here to answer your questions. Listen to their live call-in radio show on this channel every Tuesday evening from 5 to 6 p.m. or call them at 727-796-8282 or visit them at voiceoftheinjured.com. Offices Clearwater, non-attorney spokesperson. When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sport Forum in Brandon, the training home of the 3-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet, and ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity and Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with 2 N's, development.com.
Folks, let me tell you about a gem of a restaurant in Carrollwood. It's Hank's Place, where you'll find some of the best barbecue, catfish, wings, sausage, gator, shrimp, and a whole lot more. Their meats are dry rubbed and slowly smoked. All of your favorite sides, too, from baked beans to collard greens to mac and cheese to onion rings. Are you hungry yet? Discover why Hank's Place at 8546 Northdale Maybury, just 100 yards north of Waters Avenue, is a place that locals have known about for years. Hey, would a guy like me lie to you about food? Hank's Place, a place to hang your hat and lick your fingers.
Sooner or later, you're going to need a plumber. It's just a fact of life. Want somebody honest and reliable? The plumber I use is the Bearded Plumber. I've known Thomas since his high school days and now is an established plumber who offers 24-hour-a-day full service because plumbing emergencies don't wait. Keep this number handy. You know you're going to need it. It's 866-882-3273. The Bearded Plumber, 866-882-3273.
Life Builders Christian Counseling Center brings hurting people to wholeness in Christ. Life Builders is a professional counseling center with multiple counselors and locations in Brandon and Tampa. They offer in-person, Zoom, and group sessions, counseling individuals, married couples, children and adolescents, and families. Some of our licensed counselors take most insurances. Call 813-438-5949 or visit lifebuilderscounseling.org. Life Builders can help. 813-438-5949 and at lifebuilderscounseling.org.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning and host of the Home Team Sports Radio Show. I'm here to tell you about our educational home team, Cambridge Christian School. No longer Tampa Bay's best-kept secret, CCS is the perfect blend of academic rigor and a biblical worldview foundation, serving families for over 60 years. Come see why we are the #1 rated Christian school in Tampa and visit us at ccslancers.com.
Looking for newer used golf clubs and balls? Stop by T&D Golf at 4205 West Waters Avenue, a half-mile west of Dale Mabry. Brand name clubs at discount prices. T&D has the best repair facility with the largest selection of grips in stock. Hundreds of sets of gently used clubs, a large selection of putters and wedges, and the best selection of quality used golf balls in Florida. Open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. T&D Golf at 4205 West Waters Avenue, a half-mile west of Dale Mabry.
If there's one thing I'm particular about, it's my pizza. ABC Pizza House at 1242 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. Great specials, too, like a large one-topping pizza for just $11.99 every Monday or Thursday, or 2 pizzas with 2 toppings every Tuesday for just $22.99. Spaghetti with 1 topping every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday for just $8.99. ABC Pizza House, 1242 West Hillsborough Avenue, 813-213-0929. Open every day, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. abcpizzahouse.com.
The Florida State Fair is coming in February. But did you know the Florida State Fair is so much more than just a fairgrounds? Everything from hunting and fishing shows to trade shows and competitions to men's and women's conferences to concerts and so much more. Be sure and circle your calendars for February 6th through the 17th, 2025 for the 121st edition of the Florida State Fair at the Florida State Fairgrounds in Tampa. See you at the fair.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi along with Dave Papa and Matt Solomon, of course. And we're going to give out the phone numbers again. Please call in. We have lines available. 727-441-3000. Why don't you? We've already got a couple of scores through Facebook Live. John has picked the 49ers to win 31-23. And it has the 49ers leading at the half, 17-10. Mike has picked the Bucs to win 23-20 and has the Bucs leading at halftime, 13-10. And Donald has picked the 49ers 34-24 and has San Francisco leading at halftime, 14-10. So out of those 3 thus far, 2 have picked the 49ers. 1 has picked the Bucs. Again, Dave, this really is a critical game for the Bucs for so many reasons. You know, looking at the schedule, when they actually had a 4-2 record, but you're looking at the schedule ahead, which included Baltimore, Atlanta for the second time, and Kansas City, and then San Francisco. I was thinking to myself, boy, you know, I'd love if we could just go 2-2. Okay, at least try to go 500, and you'll be in good shape. Well, we've now lost all 3 of them. We're trying to at least go 1-3 in that stretch, and at least that way we'd be entering the bye week at 500. But if you drop the game tomorrow, you're 4-6, and you're entering a bye losing 4 straight. Not a good place to be at all.
No, now you're one of the worst teams in the NFL. 4 wins after 10 games, that's horrible.
Yeah.
And they need to change that. They're on a dive, on a decline right now. And if they don't turn it around, they're in trouble. If they do turn it around, I still think they're in trouble because I think once you've lost that many games at this point in the season, I don't know how you all of a sudden become a winning team.
Yeah, well,
they're not showing signs of that.
They were able to do it last year. And granted, you could also say the schedule, I mean, injuries are injuries, but every team has injuries. So you could say that, but so many teams have had injuries. Yeah. But I think the scheduling, the teams that they played, that's tough. So that could have some to do with it. Now, the second half of the season, again, it is more favorable. There's going to be teams in there that you figure the Bucs should be able to beat.
Yeah.
But if they're not playing well and if they've got that negative momentum going, it could be very difficult to turn that around.
Yeah, but these are key injuries too. A lot of people have injuries during the season with like safeties or linebackers, you know, maybe a running back. But I mean, the top 2 receivers is painful.
Kate Otten, the tight end, has stepped up, and he's been a good player the last couple of years. The guy is really good. He's playing fantastic. Now, as far as the other receivers, Jalen McMillan was a rookie this year, had high hopes. He's been injured. He was out. He missed last week's game. I know. I'm hoping he'll play tomorrow. I don't know. He might be questionable. But you've got Trey Palmer is a speedster. We've got Sterling Shepard. as a veteran they brought in. You've got other guys, and it's just that mentality, that next man up mentality. You're going to have to get other people involved. Yep. Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback. He can get other people involved. He has. He spreads the ball around very well. We can use our running backs, particularly. I mean, Rachaad White, I think, is one of the best receiving backs in the entire league. Anytime you get him the ball on a screenplay, he has the potential to take it all the way. Yep. He reads the blocks very well. He's very good. I think our three-headed running back monster really helps us now that we have Bucky Irving, the rookie out of Oregon. Sean Tucker has emerged. You have three guys who are capable of running effectively, and you can rotate them out without any one of them getting tired and overworked.
Yeah, and I think that if you're going to try to run the clock out in games and control the game on the clock with your running backs, it's a good idea, with a tight end as well. But then the defense has to come up big.
Of course they do.
And they just haven't.
Not at all. Going back to the first game against Atlanta, just a lot of big plays, missed assignments, guys taking bad angles, missed tackling. It's just been a combination of things that we're not used to seeing from Buccaneers defense. And again, that goes back to wondering, did we evaluate talent the wrong way? Were we wrong on some of the guys we drafted, or did we let the wrong people go? We know we don't have Carlton Davis there in the secondary. Obviously, we let Devin White go. We felt KJ Britt and some others were going to step up, but I don't know. It's strange because certainly younger players like a Kalijah Cansey and Yaya Diaby look like they've got talent. One of the defensive backs, Christian Izien last year, another rookie, did some good things. So you're kind of expecting some of those guys to make strides and take the next step. Logan Hall, I believe, is like a third-year player. Hasn't really stepped up. So I don't know. Some of these guys just might not be the answer. But you're going to have to find something. And Todd Bowles, again, he's got to evaluate it and find out, learn the strengths and weaknesses of his players and make calls on the defense accordingly. And if you got to change up your schemes, you change up the schemes in some way or another. Yeah,
and we talked a bit earlier on the break about whether they're going to keep their head coach or not because of the fact that this is not such a good season. So that's an issue too, and he's going to have to start playing a little more desperation.
Well, was talking to someone, one of my customers at the bakery, he's a big sports fan, and he mentioned he loves the offense under Liam Cohen. That seemed to be a great pick as the offensive coordinator to replace Dave Canales, who took the Carolina coaching job. Him and Baker Mayfield really seem to be on the same page. The offense, even despite the injuries, they've still been moving the ball effectively. They've been scoring a lot of points, and certainly, when you are that effective, come season end, other teams are going to take a look at you. Okay. And now we're getting a little bit of ahead of ourselves. Certainly we want the Bucs to make the playoffs and hope they can rebound. But if things continue to go in the wrong direction and this team misses the playoffs, if you worry about that, it could be that Bowles would be out and Liam Cohen might be the next head coach because you want to certainly keep him and keep the rapport he has with Baker.
Perfect.
And the rest of those players on offense. Want to mention some college football today. USF plays at noon against Navy. The Bulls are currently 4-4. Navy is 6-2. Navy actually jumped out to a 6-0 start to the season, but has now lost the last two. The Bulls, under their second year under head coach Alex Golish, they haven't really made the strides this season that I think a lot of people felt they would. Obviously, last season they finished 7-6. Huge improvement under the previous few years with Jeff Scott as the coach. So this year, now two of the losses obviously were to Alabama and to Miami. You have to throw those out because those are two tough teams. But USF was blown out in conference games against Tulane and Memphis. Two games where they really did not show up. So that was very disappointing. The rest of the way, you got Navy is a pretty tough team today. After that, it seems the schedule for USF seems to end on a kind of a favorable note. The teams they're playing don't have great records, so the hope is the Bulls can ride the second half of the season and finish on a strong note with a better record than they did last year. I still like Golish. I think that he's a very young, talented young coach. The team has lost their quarterback Byron Brown, so they're playing with their backup Bryce Archie. But the hope is they can keep it going and continue to make the strides that they need to make. Other big games today, also at noon, Florida. The Gators play at number 5 Texas, number 4 Miami. Kind of the lone team in the Sunshine State that seems to have a shot of doing anything big this year. They're going to play Georgia Tech. And then later on in the SEC, you've got number 2 Georgia at number 16 Ole Miss, number 11 Alabama, and number 14 LSU tonight. That's an elimination game, really. Both of those teams have 2 losses. So the loser of that is going to be out. But at least now, and this is where I kind of like the expanded playoff. This year, the playoffs in college football expand to 12 teams. So more teams are going to get an opportunity, where Alabama and LSU before, that would be kind of both of those teams would already be out of it with 2 losses. But this time around, it's a huge game because both teams, it's basically an elimination game now. The loser will be out.
Right.
So that's going to be exciting. We've got John from Clearwater is on hold. John, good morning. Welcome to the home team.
Good morning, guys. How are you all?
Good morning, John.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
The Bucks should have went for the 2-point conversion. You don't give the ball to Mahomes in overtime. He's just a methodical drive that they did. He's just too great of a quarterback,
Yeah, I hear you, John. But at the same time, you don't know for sure what's going to happen in overtime. I thought that the Bucs defense had done a decent job against the Chiefs, especially in that fourth quarter. And you got to at least have confidence in your defense that they can hold them to a field goal. I know it's easy to say that. I just think the risk versus reward is what I look at. Yes, if you get it, the 2-point conversion, you're probably going to win. Yeah. But if you don't, you're guaranteed to lose. That's the way I look at it. It's a tough situation. But we saw that happen with Cincinnati against Baltimore in the Thursday night game.
Sure. And like you said, with Todd Bowles in the defense, it's not working out. It's like.
Yeah, and that's surprising to me. I mean, we think back to the Super Bowl. Now, granted, the Super Bowl, being 4 years ago, and of course, there were a lot of different. There were other players on the Bucs team, Ndamukong Suh, Jason Pierre-Paul, amongst others. But think about how they shut down Kansas City in that Super Bowl. And of course that was Todd Bowles and his schemes. But obviously things have changed. We have different players. We've lost some players, but something just isn't right with this defense. And again, Bowles being that's his specialty. It's up to him to get this thing figured out. And can they do it in time to salvage the season? That's what they're going to have to do starting tomorrow.
What a great coach, Andy Reid, huh? What a mind.
That was awesome.
Unbelievable.
Mind.
I mean, going back, think about this. I mean, Andy Reid's first season, I remember in Philadelphia, was 1999. You think of all the years he was with Philadelphia and then with Kansas City. If my memory serves right, I want to say he's only had maybe 2 losing seasons in his entire career as head coach.
He's up there with Belichick. He's just amazing.
Easily.
He's got a great mind, and he's going to make an excellent analyst. I don't know if you guys have watched him, but Belichick is doing a lot of the analyst work now with Peyton Manning. Wow.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
Oh, my God. The things that he knows, I was surprised at. So, I mean, Andy Reid's going to be in that same class.
He's opens up a little more than in his press conferences, at least, with the man he sells.
But we never get to know him in 20 years.
Yeah.
That's exactly how Saban is with college football.
He does a great job as well. So, I like that a lot.
And for college football, big game today.
Huge game. So the big one nationally is that Alabama-LSU game tonight. That's always a big game on a regular basis. But you figure now both teams have 2 losses. The winner keeps their playoff hopes alive. The loser is out. Basically now with 3 losses, you're not going to make the playoffs. So
and the Hurricanes are doing awesome. That quarterback should be Heisman, definitely.
Cam Ward, I think he's still the favorite to win the Heisman.
Tremendous.
And Miami, it's a far cry from the 1990s when all three of the big three teams in Florida, Florida, Florida State, and Miami, were all competing for national titles. Right now, Miami's the only hope because obviously, Florida is struggling with a very difficult schedule and now losing both their top two quarterbacks. Tough break there. Florida State is a disaster. Now, Florida State plays Notre Dame tonight. I'm telling you right now, this is heading one way, in my opinion. Mike Norvell will be out at the end of the season, and they're rolling out the red carpet for Deion Sanders. I don't see any other scenario. And again, of course,
I see that too.
Yeah, and again, and Florida State had such a great year last year, going undefeated. I still think they got robbed, being left out of the college football playoff. They had such a great season, but no one foresaw this season going this bad. This is by far their worst season since before Bobby Bowden was a head coach. And he took over in 1976. There's a good chance Florida State could finish 1-11 or 2-10.
Unbelievable.
And that's just not going to be acceptable around there. So I think you'll get the boosters, the alumni. They're going to buy out Norvell's contract. It happens all the time. We saw Texas A&M is paid Jimbo Fisher a ridiculous amount of money to fire him, go away. That's what's going to happen here. And they're bringing in Deion. They're bringing in him. He's in that Florida State's his alma mater. He's going to get there. He's a personality. He's a celebrity. He'll be able to get the recruiting in there, I think. And you never know what's going to happen, but I just think that's what we're going to see happen here.
Sure. And the Miami Hurricanes defense is so fast. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, their defense, I will tell you, John, they've struggled some in recent games. Their offense has been so good that they could put up a ton of points. I mean, it seems like in seconds they could put up 14 or 21 points. But I know against their last game against Duke, they trailed, I think in the third quarter, 28-17, before just blowing up and then blowing them out by 20-something points. But Miami has had a couple of close calls. I know there was a game on the road against Cal that they won. They were down by a huge amount, came back and won by 1 point. A game against Virginia Tech ended in a controversial Hail Mary call that initially was called a touchdown, then overturned. So they've come close, but to their credit, they found a ways to get wins. And they're undefeated. So they're looking like in a very good spot for the playoff. John, you gave your score already, right? You picked the 49ers 31-23?
I got it,
Yeah. So,
Jason, you're going to bring your mom to the Christmas party?
Absolutely.
All right.
Looking for, that'll be in ABC Pizza. I believe it was in December the 14th or 21st, maybe the 21st. Yeah, December 21st at ABC Pizza.
Awesome. Looking forward
to seeing you, John. Thank you so much for calling, buddy.
Have a good weekend.
You too, John. You too, man. Take care.
Bye.
And thank you, John. We're going to hit another break here, but get out the phone numbers. Again, we've got phone lines available. 727-441-3000. That's 727-441-3000. Please call in. Love to hear from you. And we'll be back right after this on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We regret to inform you that the Palm Pavilion on Clearwater Beach suffered extensive damage from Hurricanes Helene and Milton. The Palm Pavilion will remain closed until further notice. We are working daily to rebuild an even better Palm Pavilion, but it is going to take some time. Please know we will be reopening, and all gift certificates you may be holding do not expire, and they will be honored upon our reopening. We at the Palm Pavilion wish you all the best as you too rebuild from these two devastating storms. You can stay updated on our progress by visiting our website, palmpavilion.com. Once again, thank you for your understanding, and we look forward to serving you again with our delicious food and drinks and beautiful sunsets just as soon as we can rebuild this 99-year tradition. In the meantime, stay safe, and please keep us in your thoughts and prayers as we will do the same for you. One of the questions I'm often asked is, how do you do it? With my busy schedule of working for the Lightning, Magic, Buccaneers, and the home team, I need to be in very good health. One person I have to thank for keeping me in good health for years is Dr. Troy Stirk of Stirk Family Medicine. He's helped me keep my blood pressure in check, my heart running smoothly, and an overall healthy feeling that is confirmed by my lab results. If you're looking for a good family physician, I heartily recommend Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine. You can reach his office at 813-264-7922. That's 813-264-7922. I'll tell you, Dr. Stirk is fantastic, and I'm sure you'll feel the same way if you become one of his patients. So now that you know my secret to staying healthy with a busy schedule, it's your turn. Call Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine, 813-264-7922. If you suffer damage from either or both Hurricanes Helene or Milton and are in need of some new windows or a new door, FAS Windows and Doors is the place to turn. Locally owned and operated, they can get you the best possible products at the best possible price. Right now, they're offering a $100 rebate on all windows and a $200 rebate on all doors. Financing is available with no payments, no interest, and no money down for 24 months. Just go to their website, faswd.com. That's faswd.com to schedule an appointment and check out their inventory. It pays to shop local and to go to a company that stands behind both their products and their service. Tell them you heard about them on the home team with Paul Porter, and they'll take special care of you. There when you need them, FAS Windows and Doors, faswd.com. This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning, Magic, and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is, with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory. Did you know that Cambridge Christian School Athletic Department was honored with the Kerry McDonald Award as the 2A Athletic Program of the Year for the second consecutive year? The CCS Lancers have had 71 district championships, 21 regional championships, 5 state championships, and 37 Final Four teams. Over 200 of our student athletes have signed to play at the college level, and one has joined an NFL team. Visit us today at ccslancers.com. Your number one home team fans, Auto Owners Insurance and Vermost Insurance Agency is a winning combination. We'll work with you to ensure your home, auto, business, and life to keep everything you value safe, sound, and secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit the Vermost Insurance Agency in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com. That's vermost.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi. I'm joined today with Dave Papa. Of course, we got Matt on the board, our man, Matt Solomon. And again, a lot going on. The Bucs, huge game tomorrow against the San Francisco 49ers. Bucs have lost 4 out of 5, I believe, right now. So,
yep.
You know, so they're going to have to do something. 49ers are coming off a bye week. They're coming off a win over Dallas.
And they get a returning Christian McCaffrey.
They're returning Christian McCaffrey. Huge deal, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, McCaffrey, again, we don't know how much time he's going to have. He'll probably be limited a little bit in his playing time. Again, that was kind of like a calf and an Achilles issue there. So they got to be careful there.
But it's amazing to me looking at the standings and looking at that NFC West. Everybody's within a game of each other. The Cardinals are 5-4.
And that's a big surprise. Arizona has kind of come out of nowhere, and you've got the 49ers are there at 4-4.
As are the Rams.
The Rams, after a bad start, have now won 3 in a row. They're 4-4. And Seattle, after a good start, has kind of dropped up, but they're still 4-5. They're right there. So yeah, the NFC West, while there's no real dominant teams, there's no bad teams. All the teams there are right there. And that goes back to my point about how difficult it will be for the Bucs to make it this year as a wild card, because you've got so many different teams competing for that wild card spot.
And I also find it amazing, because I'm a dork for this kind of stuff, looking at point differential. 3 of those 4 teams in the West are negative in the point differential department, including the division-leading Cardinals. The only team that's got a positive in point differential is the 4-4 San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. And
who've been without some of their big stars all year due to injuries at various points. They've lost. Ayuk's done for the year. They've had Debo miss time. They've had George Kittle miss time.
Devastating it. No, I mean, huge injuries.
And they're just getting McCaffrey back now this week.
Well, and see, that's the thing, like with the Bucs, and certainly people can make the argument with you got the injuries to Evans and to Godwin and how tough that makes it. But if you look around the league, this is pretty much every team. Every team goes through the same thing, and I guess it's a matter of the teams that have more depth, overall talent and coaching too. I think that plays a part of it, because you got to have the coach recognizes what you have in terms of players' strengths and weaknesses. If guys go down with the injury, you got to adjust and now say, okay, what does this guy do well that we can maybe change the play calling to maximize the strengths of certain guys. That's the coaching. That's where it comes in, and having to make adjustments to whatever happens, in terms of injuries or other teams doing certain things.
And I point to this as being an example of good coaching. Look at how loaded the NFC North is. Because we talked about how balanced the NFC West is. Look at the NFC North. Mm-hmm. Detroit's 7-1. Minnesota's 6-2. Green Bay's 6-3, and the Bears are 4-4.
Excellent division.
And look at it. Good example with Green Bay. They've had injury issues and inconsistent play from Jordan Love, yet they're 6-3.
Okay, and I'm glad you brought that up, because going back to Detroit,
sure,
this is what's a little frustrating with the Bucs. Detroit's one loss was to the Bucs. Bucs beat them on the road. The Bucs beat Washington. Granted, it was week 1, so sometimes week 1 your teams don't find themselves. But looking how good Washington has become, that's a very impressive one. And then Philadelphia, who's another good team that the Bucs dominated. So we know that the Bucs, when they play like they're capable of playing, I think they could play with anyone. That's what I felt to start the season. I felt the Bucs could be a Super Bowl contender, because I think that when they play at their top, they're as good as it gets. And the fact that they beat Detroit, who you could argue is the best team in the league, they beat them in Detroit, and they played them very tough last year when they lost to in the playoffs. I think the Bucs can play with those teams, but they're not showing it week in and week out, especially on the defense.
Well, look at what happened last week against Kansas City. They just Kansas City barely walked away with the win over the Bucs last week, and they had to go to overtime to do it.
The Bucs could have won all these games that the Bucs have lost.
Could have easily been wins.
They could have won. I mean, the one game against Denver, they just didn't show up that day. They weren't.
I don't count that.
So that was because they lost 26-7. But all the other games, both games to Atlanta, the game against Baltimore, even though the Baltimore game, it was lopsided at one point, the Bucs made so many mistakes, left points on the field, some
stupid penalties,
missed field goal.
They've had penalty problems all year.
Yeah, and then of course this game with Kansas City, the Bucs certainly have had their opportunities, and you figure the record could be a lot better than it was. But that's ultimately what's going to separate the top teams from the teams that are either mediocre or bad, is your failure to make the key plays at the key moments in those games to get the win. And thus far, the Bucs just have not done that. And we're gonna address this game. Dave, how do you see the game going tomorrow? We're gonna get the picks in at the end of the game, but just in general with the 49ers tomorrow, how do you see that?
I don't know. I don't think the Bucs are going to do well.
Yep.
I think the Bucs are going to have a very difficult time tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think that because they're missing their 2 top wide receivers. You got a good secondary in San Fran. They're going to cover the tight end better.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a running game. If they can hold the running game down, they'll be much better. They're going to have to run the clock down. And their defense, must come up big, and I just don't see that.
We're gonna discuss this further in the second half. We're gonna hit the top of the hour breaker, but again, phone lines are open. Please call in 727-441-3000. We'll be back after this break on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
WTAN, Clearwater,
FM 106.1,
WDCF, Dade City,
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Linda Kenyon. The Justice Department appears to be winding down legal cases against President-elect Trump. CBS's Bradley Blackburn reports.
Even before a new attorney general takes over, the DOJ is already taking steps to end criminal cases against Trump. Special counsel Jack Smith filed a motion to vacate remaining pretrial deadlines, which was granted. That gives the DOJ time to assess how to comply with its policy that prohibits prosecuting a sitting president.
Assaults on Jewish soccer fans in Amsterdam this week have shaken the Jewish community. CBS's Rami Inocencio is there.
The sense of peace has been shattered here in Amsterdam, and Jewish communities are noting that today marks the 86th anniversary of Kristallnacht. That is the night of broken glass, leading up to World War II and the persecution of the Jews.
Many of the fans are returning to Israel.
Jewish resident David Bessemer has been driving Israelis to the airport.
Israel's National Security Council said, keep a low profile.
Look behind you, you will see the Anne Frank house 5 minutes walk from here. She went into hiding. We don't want to go into hiding anymore.
Dozens of people have been arrested following the attacks, which were condemned as anti-Semitic by authorities around the world. Officials say a suicide bomber blew himself up at a train station in southwestern Pakistan.
The explosion took place at Quetta train station in West Pakistan. The station's superintendent said it happened near a platform as the Jaffa Express, bound for Peshawar, was about to leave.
The BBC's David Bamford says at least 24 people were killed and dozens injured. A separatist group has claimed responsibility for the attack. Actor Tony Todd has died.
So now I must shed innocent blood.
Yep, that was him playing the killer in the Candyman film franchise. Tony Todd was 69. The search continues for dozens of escaped monkeys who got out of their compound Wednesday. Dave Malkoff reports.
43 escaped monkeys just feet away from their enclosures at the Alpha Genesis Primate Research Center in Yemassee, South Carolina. CEO Greg Westergaard says a trained employee closed but did not lock a door.
The monkeys saw an opportunity and they ran out.
Did they know how to open the door?
No, they probably just pushed.
The monkeys are bred for vaccine testing, everything from COVID to HIV. Alpha Genesis, the CDC, and local law enforcement say the monkeys that escaped pose no risk to human health.
All is well at Terminal B. The terminal at LaGuardia Airport was briefly evacuated this morning. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
Hey Tampa Bay, Tammy here with the BCC Coupon Book. Tune in during drive time 5 to 6 p.m. on the Tan Talk Radio Network to hear the BCC Coupon Book radio show. We feature local small business owners with great deals for many services and restaurants in our listening area. And anyone interested in branding your business and getting your name out there, give us a call at the BCC Coupon Book, 727-804-6082. Have a great day, Tampa Bay.
That's the BCC Coupon Book, Wednesdays 5 to 6 on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hey, everybody, this is Pastor Marcia McAllister from Beacon of Hope Ministries. We want you to join us on Sunday afternoons at 3 o'clock on this radio station for our 2-hour show, talking to you about the Word of God, giving you great contemporary music, some lively chat, and just some food for thought. You'll be encouraged to know how very much God loves you and how He has a plan for your life. Join us this coming Sunday at 3 o'clock on Living the Good Life.
This is the radio program Spectrum 360. This is Mark Skogman
and TK Weeks.
Hosts of Spectrum 360 on the 6 stations of the Tan Talk Radio Network. Spectrum 360 is a talk radio program that features politics, the arts, and popular culture from a progressive point of view. Spectrum 360 broadcasts for 1 hour weekly on Monday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern Time and anytime via webcast at spectrum360media.com. Remember, Spectrum 360, news, politics, and arts from a creative and progressive point of view.
This is Patsy with a Z, inviting you to join me every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 11 o'clock for Joy on Paper, a program for writers and for everyone who wants to know the story behind the book. Each week, I interview best-selling authors, agents, and people in the publishing world. It's fun to know the story behind the books we all love, so listen in to Joy on Paper every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 11 a.m. right here on Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hey, you new to the area or just want to know about the best hidden gems and upcoming events? Stay tuned. Be Local Buzz with Devin takes you to these places, introduces you to the best businesses, and tells you about upcoming buzz. Preset your radio to Tan Talk 1340 AM or 106.1 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. That is the Be Local Buzz with Devin on Tan Talk 1340 AM and 106 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. Looking forward to speaking with you.
This is Paul Porter, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I hope you'll join me every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for my weekly show, The Home Team, heard right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live, The Home Team with Paul Porter, talking Lightning, Bucks, Rays, USF, and a whole lot more. Your calls and prize giveaways. Join us this Saturday and every Saturday morning for The Home Team, 9 to 11 on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
The Rays have won the American League pennant. The Tampa Bay Lightning win their second straight Stanley Cup.
When the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady.
I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the Home Team on the Tan Talk Radio Network. The Home Team is brought to you in part by Cambridge Christian School, a Christian education that's affordable and well-respected. By FAS Windows and Doors, with stores in Tampa and Orlando. By Action Air Conditioning, family-owned and operated, serving the entire Tampa Bay area. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
Thank you, Pat Porter. This is not Paul Porter. This is Jason Alessi. Paul's taking a much-deserved break this week for the show. He's been doing a lot with the games going on, the Lightning, the Magic. He's got the Bucks game tomorrow, but he'll be back in studio next week. I'm very happy to be joined this week by our good friend from Papa Injury Law, Dave Papa. And Dave, while we're on that note, tell us about your law from Papa Injury Law.
Sure.
Please.
Yeah, I've been practicing law now for 25 years, which is quite amazing how the time has just sailed by. I'm right here in Clearwater, Florida, and I represent a lot of people who've been injured in a lot of different ways, slip and falls, automobile accidents, dog bites, things of that nature. And I'm right here in Clearwater, and you can always reach me at, you can just Google Papa Injury Law. And I'll be happy to meet with everyone face-to-face, as I always do. I think that's the proper way when you hire an attorney, is to see them and meet them and get to know them. I try to educate my clients along the way rather than just leaving them in the dark. And I've got an excellent staff. We work real hard, and be happy to help anybody that needs me.
That's excellent. That's great to know. Always serving the community and for a long, long time.
Yep. Yeah, it's good to do.
Very, very important. So, yep. Anyone needs a good attorney for any of those, you call Dave Papa. He's the man.
Thanks.
You got it. And we've got with us on the phone line, I think, Donald from us. Donald, welcome to the Home Team.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How you doing? All right. Just doing some cleanup and taking apart, putting everything from my treating patio back out to my backyard patio from the hurricane.
Yeah, you're a hardworking man, Donnie. I know you're. I mean, aside from being a great outdoorsman, a great builder as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I had to build a new fence, 9 panels, a couple Sundays ago.
Wow.
I've got the tools to do it. Big 22-gallon compressor, a really nice Makita framing gun. So having the right tools really helps.
Fantastic, and hopefully no more storms for a while. So they could leave, never come back. If for all I care, for all we care. So,
do you work on vinyl fences?
No, I don't do vinyl. I do wood.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, there's been so much damage around. It's been unbelievable.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, I built a 360 square foot deck in my backyard and pergola on top of it back in July. I love doing stuff like that with out of wood, framing, whatever. But man, the Bucks, what a game that was.
What do you think about the end, Donald? Do you think that they should have gone for 2, or were you happy with taking the extra point?
Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, everyone knows everything when the results already in. I'm sure they do.
That's me.
I say, why not go for 2?
Mm-hmm.
What do you got to lose?
Yeah.
So because the odds of going into overtime, and it's a 50-50 shot that we would have gotten the ball. Would we have gone downfield again like we did? To tie the game.
What's very interesting, Donald and Dave, is that it seems like the play calling over the last several years, everyone has become more aggressive in what they choose to do, whether it be for going for 2 points, whether it be for going for it on 4th down, even if it's more than just 4th and a yard.
Right.
But you're passing up the field goal, and then so many people look at analytics. I was actually discussing this with someone the other day. And, the analytics tell you to do this. The analytics tell you to do this. I don't like analytics personally. I think that could really cause a lot of games to be lost when you look at that. I mean, there is something about being aggressive, but there's also about being smart. And I think in some cases when teams, they give up an opportunity to get points because they say, well, we want more points. Okay. But you never know at the end if that field goal, or even let's say that extra point, comes back to be the difference in that game. And if it does, you could look at that situation a little differently. But everyone has been it's a lot more aggressive now than it used to be. I don't necessarily know if it's the smartest thing, though.
Well, it's almost like in the NFL, it's certainly a win-now mentality more than ever. And I think that going for that 2-point conversion, I said earlier, was important for the Bucs to do because of their record and because you got to have a feel for the game. Where were they playing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, in Arrowhead.
Yeah, and that's the loudest stadium, and it gets really raucous when it comes time for overtime. You do have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, if not one of the top 3 or 4. I think he is. And he's going to go in overtime. I think he's going to go down there at least a field goal, at least.
Right.
So at the very end of it, the Bucs get the ball back. They're probably going to get a field goal. So anyways, the game's tied again, and you're still tied. So I'm not so sure they can take ties.
Well, that also brings up this. That will also bring up a situation in some cases because you remember the overtime was changed. It's only 10 minutes now as opposed to 15 minutes. So if let's say you do give up a field goal to the other team to start the overtime, you get the ball back. Sometimes then you have a decision to make. Okay, do we want to? If you take up a lot of the clock, do we now want to go for a field goal to tie it, knowing that might be the best end scenario, or do we bypass the field goal to go for a win, for a touchdown, knowing that we might lose?
Because they can go down there, run the clock down, and
so
take a field goal.
That's a good point. That's another way to look at it. If you think the other offense could go down and score, you figure, okay, well, we're not even going to mess with that. Let's go for 2 right now. Let's try to win this and end it right now. I could see that a little bit.
In Arrowhead. And your record is 4-4, and a chance to give them their first loss and for you to get back on the winning track.
Right. That's true. I guess I just look at it. If you kick the extra point, you give yourself a little bit more options in order to win. And when going for 2, yes, if you make it, that is great. You could get the season back on track. But then if you lose it, then or if you miss the extra, if you don't get the 2, you basically have lost the game without giving yourself any opportunity. So I know it's a tough situation, Donald. But I know, Donald, you put in the score. Was it you had the 49ers winning 34-24?
Yeah. So I don't think the Bucs really have a chance. I don't know. They got beat up pretty bad there at KC. They did not bring anything home with them. They left it all on the field and just played their heart out. Baker just played so incredible that game. Kate Otten, everybody was just putting in such an effort.
Otten has really stepped up.
Yeah, he really has. But, they've got to be hurting a little bit, you know.
Yeah, and it's what's really tough is you play a hard-fought game like that, and then you get basically a very short turnaround. That was a Monday night game. You're going to have to play Sunday, and their San Francisco they were off last week. They've had a full week to rest up. Obviously, they're going to be getting Christian McCaffrey back tomorrow, so that's big for them. But we'll see. This is the time of the season. The Bucs, they're kind of in dire straits. It's kind of put up or shut up. What are you going to do the rest of the way? They're going to have to step up, and if they want this season to go the way they want it to, like they thought it would, you're going to have to get a win here in a big way. Yep. So we'll hope that they can do that, Donald.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All Hopefully right. They will.
Yep. But all right. But thank you so much.
Thanks, Donald.
Absolutely. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Yep, I'll be on the water next Saturday. I'm fishing.
Wonderful.
Next Saturday, launching at the Skyway Rest area, the North Beach area. So heading to Tarpon Key with my kayak buddies and grilling afterwards, starting about 12:45. If anybody wants to stop by.
All right, fantastic.
Nice.
Well, if we talk to you next week, you'll be on the water, and hopefully it's good luck catching fish. All right.
I appreciate it. You guys take care. Stay safe.
You too.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too, Donald. All righty, and we're going to go back to the phone line soon. We've got Anthony with us on the line. Anthony, welcome to the home team.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning, Dave. Good to hear you, man.
Thanks.
First of all, congrats. A great job by the Lightning presenting that Stamkos appreciation, acknowledgement. But in my opinion, for the what he brought to the team, it was kind of short lived. I think, and it's obvious on the ice. The guy's totally missed. His contributions are because I mean the guy was. Some people classify him as a one-dimensional player, but when he was on the ice, he brought the team together. The mindset is not there. I know that it's still a young team, and they're starting to acquiesce to Cooper's game plan, but you can't dismiss what Stamkos brought to the team. Pivotal player, and so we're just.
Well, what do you think about are the Lightning right now, Anthony, in a spot that you expected them to be? Are you a little disappointed? Are you a little surprised? What's your feeling about where the Lightning are at right now at this moment and early in the season still?
From my view, they need to get a fire under the gut. There doesn't seem to be that fierceness that they had. I mean, you can't compare the two seasons when they won back-to-back Stanley Cups. The core group that they had, Palat, Yanni Gourde, they had McDonough back then, Maroon. They're still trying to gel together, but it's just when you lose a captain like Stamkos, it just throws everything off. The whole mindset's not there. And I know they brought Jake Getzel in, and he's trying to fit in, but there just doesn't seem to be that fierceness. There's no power in their checking. The face-offs just doesn't seem to be competitive. You imagine losing Pittsburgh losing Crosby, Boston losing Marchand. That would throw the whole team off.
Yeah.
They're so accustomed to having that one guy on the ice, and Stamkos was the reason a lot of these guys came in. These young guys came in because. He's an icon. He's an icon of Tampa Bay, just like the other two guys I mentioned.
Yeah,
and you throw those off, it just throws everything off. The fan base is off. The organization's off. It's just unmistakable. You can't lose a guy like that, and it affects the team.
And Anthony, I agree with you. What you're talking about is the intangible of who he was, and the leadership goes a long way in a hockey team, and especially considering on the ice during certain periods of time, the fans aren't on the bench. They don't see what goes on, but there's a lot of chatter that goes on the bench. There's a lot of talking going on the bench. And Stamkos gets people up. He was an excellent captain, an excellent chemistry guy. He scored 40 goals last year, not just because he's an excellent hockey player, but because of the chemistry he had with his players. And they looked up to him, and they played hard for him. I'm a Bruin fan, have been, everybody knows that. And you mentioned Marchand, and when Bergeron left, same issue. You lose somebody like that, what happens is the team takes a sudden, I don't know, maybe just a bit of a lapse on the ice. They don't always look as sharp as they should the whole game. Yeah. And that's what we're talking about with the Lightning right now. They have great times on the ice, and other times they're just going through motions.
Yep.
They're missing somebody to kick them in the butt and say, this is how we play every minute of every game. And that was Stamkos.
We'll see. Hopefully they can turn that around. Anthony, we're up against a breakdown, but what's your score for the game tomorrow? How do you see that game going with the Bucks and the Niners?
Let me say this, man. I mean, that game against the Falcons should have had an asterisk because even though the cameras weren't focusing in on Kyle Pitts losing that ball, thanks to Winfield, that I don't know how the team hasn't updated their on-field cameras or anything.
Yeah.
It's just disgraceful. I'm going to go with it's going to be a close game, and I'm going to say Tampa Bay 3-2, 49ers 27.
Okay.
And unfortunately, no time was allowed, but I was going to ask Dave about the Patriots, but I'll leave it for some other time. Maybe you can comment on
when we come back, what's your halftime score, Anthony?
Let's go 10-10.
10-10. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk. Dave, I'll ask you about that when we come back from the break. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thanks,
We're going to talk to you next week.
Thank you
so much. We're going to hit a break. We're going to go to the phone lines, but I'll give out the numbers too. Some lines are available at 727-441-3000. And we'll be back right after this on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If you suffered damage from either or both Hurricanes Helene or Milton and are in need of some new windows or a new door, FAS Windows and Doors is the place to turn. Locally owned and operated, they can get you the best possible products at the best possible price. Now, right now, they're offering a $100 rebate on all windows and a $200 rebate on all doors. Financing is available with no payments and no interest and no money down for 24 months. Just go to their website, faswd.com. That's faswd.com to schedule an appointment and check out their inventory. It pays to shop local and to go to a company that stands behind both their products and their service. Tell them you heard about them on the Home Team with Paul Porter, and they'll take special care of you. They're there when you need them. FAS Windows and Doors, faswd.com.
My favorite restaurant in all of Tampa Bay is J. Alexander's at the corner of Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of I-275 in Tampa. The prime rib is to die for. Steaks are just as mouthwatering, and that's not all. Seafood like salmon, ahi tuna, shrimp, or crab cakes. Don't forget the salads and appetizers like my favorite French onion soup, and top it all off with a homemade dessert. J. Alexander's in Tampa at Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of 275. Open 7 days, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Reservations suggested but not necessary.
Rinkside Sports is your headquarters for all things hockey. From skates to pads and gloves to jerseys to socks. Anything you need to make your hockey experience a winning one. You'll find all the same brands the pros use, like Bauer and CCM. Rinkside Sports has 2 locations to serve you, inside Advent Health Center Ice in Wesley Chapel and inside the TGH Sportsplex in Brandon. Rinkside Sports. If it's hockey, it's Rinkside Sports.
10 years ago, my wife and I started a nonprofit ministry to help victims of domestic violence called Reach Out, Speak Out. Would you consider a donation to help our ministry? If you'd like to join our auxiliary board or just be a friend to Reach Out, Speak Out by helping with your time, talents, or treasures whenever you're available, please contact us by visiting reachoutspeakout.org. Please send your donation to Post Office Box 4979, Tampa, Florida 33677, 5013C number 47163. 0804. This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning, Magic, and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory. If there's one thing I'm particular about, it's my pizza. ABC Pizza House at 1242 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. Great specials, too, like a large one-topping pizza for just $11.99 every Monday or Thursday, or 2 pizzas with 2 toppings every Tuesday for just $22.99. Spaghetti with 1 topping every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday for just $8.99. ABC Pizza House, 1242 West Hillsborough Avenue, 813-213-0929. Open every day, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. abcpizzahouse.com. Grace Family Church with now 8 locations to serve you. Just how big is Grace Family Church? Here's Executive Pastor Chris Bonham.
On a typical Sunday, we'll be about 13,500 people. And then we have an online crowd that watches as well. That's dispersed all throughout our campuses and throughout people watching all over the world.
It seems like a big church, but it does feel small. I don't want a big church, but so the numbers are big, but there's a lot of opportunity for belonging and intimacy in the church.
Yeah, that's one of our values. We definitely want to make a big church small. So if someone's like, oh, I can't go, it's too big, we would really encourage you to check it out, because we do a lot of intentional things to take the large crowd and move it into a smaller, more manageable relationship.
For more information about all 8 campuses at Grace Family Church, visit gfcflorida.com. That's gfcflorida.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi along with Dave Papa. We're going to get to the phone lines in just a moment, but I want to tell you what's going on in Alessi Bakery real quick. Thanksgiving is approaching, and we are selling our fabulous holiday dinners, our turkey dinner, our spiral cut ham dinner, and our roasted pork dinner. I know the turkey dinner and ham dinners can come with the turkey and ham, respectively, and homemade stuffing, some gravy, mashed potatoes. You get your choice of vegetables. Green beans, vegetable medley, or glazed carrots, sweet potato casserole, cranberry sauce, and a pie, pumpkin or apple pie. And the roast pork, Cuban style roast pork, comes with yellow rice or white rice, black beans, fried plantains, and also your choice of pie, apple or pumpkin. You can also get items just by themselves, the turkey, ham, or pork, as well as other side items. So please call in anytime if you want to place that order at Alessi Bakery, and we're taking orders right now. You call us there at 813-879-4544. We're open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I know we have our specials coming up this upcoming week. Starting Monday, we'll do our gourmet sugar cookies, buy one, get one free, our strawberry masu cakes, buy one, get one free, and our chocolate devil's food cake, buy one, get one free. So always has some great specials and great bakery and deli. So please come by to Alessi Bakery.
And I second that. That's an awesome place.
Hey,
I love your bakery.
Oh, really appreciate that, awesome. Dave. Thank you so much. So, but anyway, let's get back to the phone lines with us right now. We've got Kirk with us on the line. Kirk, welcome to the home team.
So I'm going to third that on that Alessi Bakery.
Oh, you're very kind. Thank you so much. Always appreciate that.
Those eclairs that you make are just amazing. So,
love the eclairs. That's place. Still one of our best sellers.
So I wanted to give the high school update today. We got high school playing Winter Park for the championship in girls volleyball, back-to-back years.
Excellent. Go Panthers. That's my alma mater. Playing. So from 99.
Pull it off back-to-back.
Very cool.
So they've had a great year. They only lost to Winter Park all season, so we'll see how it goes. Yesterday I had a chance to go to Keswick, not Keswick, but to Canterbury and referee their volleyball alumni game, or not alumni, the faculty against the senior boys. And they had everybody in that school there, and it was the loudest I have been in a stadium in quite some time.
Oh, wow.
It was fun. It was hilarious. They played so hard. It was for real. And it was 25-22. The faculty won this year. Last year, they lost. So they were out for revenge. But I'll tell you, the coach there at Cambridge, that young lady can play some volleyball. And she was taking it very serious yesterday. So it was a lot of fun.
Outstanding.
And they've got some athletes there that could play. So So I had that opportunity. So I just want to make one comment on the Bucs. I'm going for the tie. Let's see what happens. I just feel bad if I'm on that plane coming back and I didn't get the 2. And then I watched that Seattle game on Sunday where they went for 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 and failed.
Yeah.
And then ended up losing the game on the next play. So I think it's a game of the NFL. How many games every week are we seeing go down to one play deciding the game?
Right.
And
we saw it again Thursday night with Cincinnati and Baltimore. And then Cincinnati chose to go for the 2, but it didn't work out. Yeah, it's always easy, after whatever happens. We can't predict that. If it goes in your favor, you're a genius. If it doesn't, why did you do that? It's, like you say, the Monday morning quarterback. But I know it's still going to be debated. But either way, the Bucs really, they're going to have to do something. They got to turn this thing around.
Well, they got to get people healthy. And that's the big thing in the NFL. There's not a lot of depth. That league, the top tier players are top. Next tier are really good players, but they're not that top tier.
Mm-hmm.
And that, half a step that like Evans can get on it. And I don't know how they can cover him. You got to double team him all the time. But I mean, that's the difference. And I think we as lay people do not see that level of athleticism that these guys have. And I mean, it's amazing. You start to be 32 and you lose that step and you can't be in the league anymore.
Right.
Because there's somebody younger and faster and it's going to make up the difference. So, but they got to get people back. I'm going to pick them to win this weekend. I think they're going to pull it off. I think it's going to be 37-30.
Okay. And half?
I think it's going to be 13-10 Bucs.
Got it. All right. Well, let's hope you're right.
I had the halftime score right on. I was 10-7 at halftime. I got it right.
That's right.
I could have had a could have had a nice win if they just won it.
Yeah, no, I actually wanted last. Cause I'm not eligible, but I had picked 31-24 Kansas City. Ended up 30-24 in overtime, but yeah, not eligible. I'd rather be wrong in that situation and have the Bucs win. But thank you so much, Kirk. All right.
Hey, good. We'll be down there soon to get some eclairs.
Awesome. Look forward to it, buddy. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you. Let's go to Lee on the lakeside. Lee, welcome to the home team.
Well, welcome. I'm back in the United States where it's warm.
All right.
Way to go, Lee.
I left Canada Monday and it was 24 degrees. Yeah, ooh is right.
I just so one of my customers at the bakery, she actually had visited her mom who's living in Canada, said the same thing with the temperature.
Leah,
she says not really for her. She'd rather be down here.
Yeah.
Leah, you from Canada?
No, I'm from Ohio, actually.
Okay.
But,
Lee's wife is Canadian.
Oh, okay.
My wife, 6 months in Canada, 6 months here.
All right. Mm-hmm. Well, even in Ohio, you know about cold weather.
Oh yeah, I grew up along Lake Erie. I know what whiteout snow's like. Believe me.
Good enough.
But that was 50 years ago. The lightning. I agree. There's just something missing.
Mm-hmm.
Something missing.
Do you think that's something that can one of the current players or several of the current players can get with them, the kind of starting the fire like Andy was talking about, or was that all with Stamkos in your opinion?
Well, I think they got to find somebody. I don't know. Stamkos sure isn't lighting it up in Nashville.
No, they're struggling right now.
So, I don't know. Like I said, they seem to. If Vazzy has a good game, they win.
Right.
But they need somebody scoring other than
Kucherov.
Nikita.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see what happens. It's still early, so that's the kind of thing we're gonna.
Yeah. See, my contention is that Stamkos is that missing ingredient, that intangible that they've really, really lost, that they really needed. What do you think?
Well, I thought he was on the backside of his career the last few years, although he did have 40 goals last year, which I don't know.
And that's always the debate. You pay him the money he wanted, and then you maybe are not able to sign other guys who you think might be able to help you more. It's I guess it still remains to be seen. We're going to see what happens there.
Tough.
Yeah.
Speaking Speaking of Cleveland, how about my Cavaliers are 10-0?
They're very impressive. And I also saw, I think they're the first team to start. I think they scored over 110 points every one of those games.
Wow.
That's they're playing fantastic right now. Very good.
I was going to say that earlier to you.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
no, you're right. Yeah, the Cavs are tearing it up right now. The Browns, that's another story. But when the Cavs are really good.
We're not going to pick on the Browns.
Lee, what do you think with the Bucks 49ers tomorrow? How do you see this going?
I see 31-24 San Francisco.
Okay.
Especially since they're getting the running back.
Yeah, McCaffrey.
I thought the Bucks would win last week. I picked them last week, but I can't pick them today.
I know, they came close. What do you think of the half?
14-14.
Okay, 14-14 time. Yeah, I know it's kind of split right now. I mean, some people have picked the 49ers, about half have picked the Bucks. It's a critical game. I mean, you're going into the bye week. You're either going to be 500, right at 5-5, or you're going to be 4-6. And knowing that you're looking up at Atlanta in this division, the Bucks might put themselves in a situation they may have to win out if they want to make the playoffs, or at least come close to that.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
San Francisco's coming off a bye week too.
A bye week and a win. Their last game, they beat Dallas. So, and if you figure they're a good enough team, despite the injuries there, you look for them to start hitting their stride. So it's not going to be easy. But again, if the Bucks consider themselves one of the top teams, they have got to show up and win tomorrow.
Yep.
Period. They got to end this losing streak. So,
we'll
see what happens. All right, Lee. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right, we'll see you in the bakery the next couple of weeks.
Look forward to it, buddy. Thank you very much.
Silly.
All right. Take
care.
All
right, bye now.
Thank you.
Bye.
And let's see, Matt, another phone call or break? Can we go to the lines? Okay, yep. We're going to go to Don from St. Pete with us is on the line. Don, good morning. Welcome to the home team.
How are you today?
Hey, good morning.
Doing great.
Hey, we were at the bakery last Saturday night. We went to the Tampa Sun game, but we stopped by at the bakery to get something to eat because it's only about 2 miles from your bakery to Blake High School.
Oh, well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Always appreciate that.
And I said, any chance that Jason's around? He says, no, we have to give him the weekends off. He works too hard during the week.
Yeah. No, I kind of lucked out. It's for a while now. I work the Monday through Friday and work the week. Every now and then I will work weekends, though, when, it's really busy, certainly through the holidays, or if someone is out, I don't mind coming in and helping some. So, but yeah, for the most part, I'm Monday through Friday and get Saturday and Sunday off.
Yeah, the macaroons were really good.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Everything there is so damn good.
I got two questions, two different types of questions,
sure,
to a different facility. Now that USF has put the shovel in the ground and they're going to build on their own facility, they're going to build their own facility on the USF campus. Do you think that really means that they're thinking in the future that this is going to be like a UCF thing where you're going to get a few years in the AAC and then you're going to make that next jump? And because you're going to have your own crowd in your own stadium as opposed to playing in someone else's stadium.
Yeah, well, certainly I think that's the hope. I think now USF, in order to move to a better conference, they're going to have to start winning consistently. They had a good season last year, under Alex Golesh. The hope is they can keep that going, and I think the more the more success they have, especially if you look at, I know Florida State and I think Clemson were looking to try to lead the ACC. There's going to be an opportunity there, I think, for USF to go into one of those conferences, and you'd love to see that happen. But aside from that, Don, I think it's important to have your own stadium on campus to get your identity. So you're not playing in a pro stadium. Now you could go to play at Raymond James whenever you're playing a big time opponent that you think you're going to get a huge crowd for. So you can always move that game over there. But to really get the college football experience and to separate yourself from the pro team in your city, I think it's a great thing that USF is building that stadium on campus.
Yeah, that's an expensive stadium. It's going to be about $350 million or so, and it always gets more expensive as time goes on. The building process.
Looking at the renditions, I think it looks lovely. It looks very, very nice. And of course, the hope is you get the students out there, the alumni. You're going to get more of a college atmosphere, and that's what you want at those games.
Yeah, that'll boost the visibility and everything of the school.
Very, very, very much so.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
And the other question I have is, now that unfortunately Tropicana Field is not available, the Savannah Bananas will be playing baseball at Raymond James Stadium this March. What do you think of baseball at Raymond James Stadium? And even though it's a baseball exhibition game, and there's nothing that really counts for anybody, but in order to play baseball, I'd like to see how the configuration is going to be.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, of course, the one thing you've got to put the infield in.
It's
the dirt infield, and I know there were a lot of before they stopped doing it. Some stadiums, some teams, when you had a baseball and a football stadium, a baseball and a football team shared the stadium, you'd see that. You'd see on the field, the infield, you have to reconfigure that. And I don't think anyone was real happy about that. So, but I mean, but just certainly during the time of the year when no football is going on, yeah, they could do it. They could do it. But,
considering the number of fans that go to these Rays games recently, you could probably go to a local high school. They've got some of those bleachers out in center and left field. That's terrible, right?
But Savannah Bananas sell a lot of tickets.
That's yeah. So I hope hopefully it'll work out. So and of course that's the whole other issue now with Tropicana Field being damaged. They're going back and forth. We still haven't heard for sure what the Rays are going to do. Is it going to be Steinbrenner Field? Is it going to be Baycare Ballpark? Still I guess Al Lang you could look at, but obviously they're going to have to make a decision there as well. But I think with and that's the other thing with Raymond James, and also going back to USF wanting their own stadium, you want something that it seems like there's more. It's not so empty. You want to see you get a lot of people when there's less seats. It seems to be a more exciting, more joyful event.
Well, look at Oakland. The Oakland A's this year have to play at a field with only about 6,000 seats, right?
Yeah.
And I think in the Rays, how long did they say it's going to take before they fix the ballpark?
Oh, they're not. They're not. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be way too expensive. I don't think we might never see another game played at Tropicana Field.
Okay.
Because there's so much damage to it.
So just knock it down and rebuild.
Yeah.
Start
on the new stadium, I guess.
To anyways, weren't they?
Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But
they still have to get the bond.
That's true too. Yeah. There's a lot of questions right now, Don. But I know with obviously they're going to have to make a decision soon. Obviously to play for next season and also get it going with the new stadium as well.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens there. How do you see the game going tomorrow with the Bucs and the 49ers?
Well, I kind of like – I'd want to pick an upset. I'd like to say that Tampa Bay will win at home, even if it's a short week for them. I'm gonna pick Tampa Bay 35, San Francisco 32.
Okay, good game.
It's going to be close. And it's going to be a great matchup between Mayfield and Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy, yeah. That is good. How do you like at halftime?
Halftime, I'm going to say 12-10 at the half.
12-10, okay. And then, big explosion of points in the second half.
That'll be Bucs at the half.
Okay, Bucs at the half. Okay. Well, we hope you're right, Don. That's a much needed win for the Bucs there if they could get it. And so we'll see what happens there, and we'll see what happens with the baseball stadium as well.
Absolutely.
All right. But thank you so much.
You're
always
welcome.
Great to talk to you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. Thank you. And so we're going to go back. Who's on our break right now? Okay, we're going to be breaking up. Rubber Cement Man's going to be next in line. We got some other calls ahead we're going to get to, but we'll be back right after this to talk to everyone on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sport Forum in Brandon the training home of the 3-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet, and ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity and Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with 2 N's, development.com. Much like the weather, your life could change at the drop of a hat. Don't be caught unprepared. You don't know what will happen tomorrow, but no matter what happens to you, you can make sure your loved ones are provided for with a life insurance policy from Auto Owners Insurance. Meet with a local independent agent and secure a policy now to rest easy knowing you're protecting the ones you love. Visit Vermost Insurance in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com.
Life Builders Christian Counseling Center brings hurting people to wholeness in Christ. Life Builders is a professional counseling center with multiple counselors and locations in Brandon and Tampa. They offer in-person, Zoom, and group sessions, counseling individuals, married couples, children and adolescents, and families. Some of our licensed counselors take most insurances. Call 813-438-5949 or visit lifebuilderscounseling.org. Life Builders can help. 813-438-5949 and at lifebuilderscounseling.org.
This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning, Magic, and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory. Happy 60th birthday, Cambridge Christian School. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning, here to tell you about the exciting growth happening here at CCS. Coming this fall is our state-of-the-art 45,000 square foot high school and STEM lab. For over 60 years, Cambridge Christian's award-winning academics, athletics, and the arts has been changing the way you think about Christian education. Visit us today at ccslancers.com. After a car accident, there are many questions that you need answers to. Who pays for my car repairs? Who pays for the medical bills? What about my lost wages? And more. The personal injury law firm of Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes has been answering these questions for their clients for nearly 70 years. Since 1955, they've been a voice of the injured in the legal system. As one of the longest established law firms in Tampa Bay, Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes is here to answer your questions. Listen to their live call-in radio show on this channel every Tuesday evening from 5 to 6 p.m. or call them at 727-796-8282 or visit them at voiceoftheinjured.com. Offices Clearwater, non-attorney spokesperson. Grace Family Church now has 8 locations to serve you throughout the Tampa Bay area. Talking about the 8th campus, here's Senior Pastor Craig Altman.
In the Land O'Lakes area, I would say between Land O'Lakes and Trinity off of Suncoast and 54. Brand new campus. So if you're looking to get in on the ground floor, it's an exciting campus, a lot of young people, and I encourage you to check it out.
And if you're wondering what denomination Grace Family Church is, Executive Pastor Chris Bonham explains.
Well, it's actually a non-denominational church, but the neat thing is all the denominations you just mentioned, a lot of them do come. And so what's neat is this melting pot of different beliefs, but we come together based off the Bible and really teach that.
Visit one of the 8 campuses of Grace Family Church. For more information, go to gfcflorida.com. That's gfcflorida.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi along with Dave Papa. And we're going to hit right back to the phone lines. We've got the one and only Rubber Cement Man on the line. RCM, how we doing today?
We're doing fine. I'm pretty sure that. Please enter your PIN. I'm pretty sure that the Bucks couldn't have beat them no matter what they did.
They came close. It was a lot closer than a lot of people thought it might be, that game against the Chiefs.
Do you think they should have went for that 2-point conversion?
They wouldn't have made it, so what difference does it make?
Well, you never know. I mean,
I absolutely knew. I mean, did I not pick them to lose? I mean, come on.
Well, I know you picked them to lose. That means they're done. Well, so I'm dying to hear now for tomorrow. I guess if you pick them to lose tomorrow, they should not even bother to take the field. It's over.
You know, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh man, I knew it.
Harsh. I was thinking that Todd Bowles. In fact, he might be on the phone right now going, "Oh, we're not even going to come. We're not even going to show up for the game."
Oh, dear.
We're going to call the NFL commissioner and say that we're just going to forfeit the game.
Bring up the white flag because RCM said they're going to lose, and we have no shot now. The pigskin prognosticator has spoken. Well, so what is your prediction for tomorrow, RCM? Score.
43-30.
43. Wow, a lot of points being scored. 43-30. And had the halftime?
20.
I should have known that. Just like you can guess that they're going to lose, I can guess what your halftime score is going to be, 2020. But so you got the 49ers winning. Okay, well, we hope you're wrong about that. But anything else? Anything else in the sports?
I thought that this was not the Steve Stamkos radio show. I mean, what is it? He's a has-been. He's not doing. I told you we needed to get rid of him. He's no good.
Well, listen. He's one of the all-time great players in all of Tampa Bay sports. So we're not going to talk about him like that. But
well, wait a minute. I didn't say he wasn't a good player at one time. But my goodness, do you want Deion Sanders to play for you?
No, but Deion Sanders didn't score 41 goals last year.
You might want him to coach for you, but you don't want him to play for you. You know, there comes a time when people just need to climb in their casket and go on their merry way.
Well, we're going to see what happens the rest of the way with the Lightning. Obviously, I think the decision, we're going to find out if that was the right decision or not. But thank you so much, RC. I'm always going to talk to you. All right.
Okay.
We'll talk to you next week. Thank you. We'll go back to the phone lines. We've got Al with us on the line. Al, hello. Welcome to the home team.
Hello, Al.
I got a question.
Sure.
Did you take that game, Atlanta and Tampa Bay? You take it away from me?
Which the what was the 31-26, the one Atlanta won?
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I think
that was a winner.
Yeah, no. I think Paul. I'll check it with that. I think he said he had taken the score down wrong, and it was going to send you something.
It didn't mean nothing.
Okay, well, we'll check.
Last week, 30-24. I had 31-20. So I was only
3 points.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Paul's going to be back. Paul is going to be back in studio next week, Al. So we'll check on that and we'll figure that out. And if he owes you something, I'm sure we'll get that out to you.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What was the score last week?
The Kansas City won 30-24.
I know. I had 31-20.
Okay. So you might have won. I don't have the other scores written down from last week. I know Paul has that, but I'm sure he's going to look that up, and he's going to announce. He'll announce this next week about who won the.
I had a shot at that 30-24.
Okay. All right. So
hear nothing from y'all. I waited a whole week to find out, and nothing happened.
Okay, we'll figure that out. I'm sure Paul will be back, and we'll find out about that. What do you think about the game for tomorrow with the Bucks and the 49ers?
10-3 49ers halftime.
Okay.
7-20.
Okay, so you like 49ers up at the halftime 10-3, and you pick the 49ers to win 20-7?
27-20.
Oh, okay, let me change that. 27-20. 49ers winning 27-20 and up at the half 10-3.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Very good.
We'll see what happens there, Al.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Al.
All right, thanks for calling in. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
And we've got with us Marshall. Marshall's on the line. Marshall, good morning. Welcome to the home team.
Morning, Marshall.
Morning, guys. Can I have the last 2 minutes of my life back? But thank you anyway.
You got it, buddy.
Hey, so anyway, the going for two decision. Look, nobody ever calls you out or questions you if you have the guts to go for it. The only way that you get called out is if you don't go for it.
Good point.
And the other thing is, when you're playing a guy like Patrick Mahomes, I mean, you saw Baker Mayfield's reaction on the coin flip. They knew they lost as soon as they lost the flip. You knew it. Like, you see his head reaction go back, like, oh boy, we're done. And that's why you were relying on a coin flip. You have a chance to win the game on the road against an undefeated team.
Yeah,
you got to take it.
That's what I said.
I hear what you're saying, Marshall, but the rules of the overtime have been changed to at least allow the team that doesn't win the coin toss a better opportunity. I mean, if you can at least play defense, even if you don't play great defense, which you allow them into your territory, but if you hold them to a field goal, you get the ball back. The Bucs defense couldn't even do that, and it's the second time in an overtime game this year they did that. They just let the team go right down and score a touchdown, which again brings me back to my point. What's wrong with this defense?
Or I agree with the fact that Marshall's right. They should have went for the 2-point conversion.
I mean, if they make it and win, I'm certainly people say that. I just think though, if you don't make it, and because you just the odds of getting an onside kick these days are just not very high, and I think then you give yourself no shot at winning potentially in overtime. So it's I know it's two different ways to look at it.
It is.
Jason, where did they have a shot to win in regulation? They had no shot in overtime.
Oh, I disagree. With that. I thought the defense had contained Mahomes, I thought, in a decent way in that game. And they had sacked them several times. They had stopped some Kansas City drives. I think in the second half I thought they did a pretty decent job. I felt that they could have held them to at least a field goal.
But what I'm saying is you had all the momentum. You had everything. You had them on their heels. You had the fans out of the game. You had everything. Anyway, okay, I'm going to take the 49ers win 34-31 in overtime, and at halftime I'll say it's going to be 17-17.
What was it again? 34-31?
Yep.
In overtime. Okay, and at halftime
17-17.
Okay, 17-17 tie. Yep. Marshall, what's your take? What do you think about my prediction about Deion going to Florida State?
No chance.
Really?
They don't want that culture. Tell you that right now.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, you too, buddy. Take care. Thank you. Okay, so we've got that there, and let's just go ahead and get our picks in here. Matt, what do you think about the game tomorrow?
All right, 14-all at halftime.
Okay, 14. Man, a lot of ties at halftime. I find that interesting.
Give me 27-21 Niners final.
27-21. San Francisco there.
And 14-all at the half.
And
yes.
14-all at the half. Okay. Dave, how about you? What do you think?
I'm going overall, I'm going with, I'll say 34-17.
49ers?
No, yeah, 49ers.
Okay. And at halftime?
Unfortunately. And I'm going to say halftime is probably going to be 20-7.
20-7. Okay. 49ers. I'm going to kind of join you in my mind. I hope I'm wrong about this, but I just look at the fact that the Bucs are coming off that tough loss on a short week. 49ers have coming off a bye week. They get McCaffrey back. I think the 49ers are going to win 27-17, and I think they're going to be up at halftime, probably 17-7. At the halftime here. So again, I hope I'm wrong about that, but we're going to see. This is a critical game for the Bucs. Again, it's not. They're not done if they lose, but they're putting themselves in a situation where after the bye week, they're going to have to win almost every single game. I think. because you're going to make the playoffs not as the division winner, most likely, but as a wild card team. And there's a lot of other teams they're competing with for the wild card spots.
It's going to be tough.
That is certainly not going to be easy. Lightning, again, they're going to be off a little while. They're going to play next Thursday against the Winnipeg Jets, the team with the best record in the NHL right now. The Orlando Magic, I know, did win last night. They snapped I believe, a 5-game losing streak. They're struggling a little bit without their star, Paolo Banchero. They're going to hope to get him back as soon as possible. It might not be till December, but hopefully the Magic can hang in there. I think they have a very talented team, so we'll see what they do. But anyway, Paul Porter will be back next week. Dave, we thank you so much for being with us again.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. And we're going to see you next week on the home team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1 and 102.3. And as always, Facebook
Live.